To do a TEDx talk. How long does it take to prepare? Some people take 10 days and other people take 10 months. What do you need to know? Well, we are going to find out some TEDx tips from a speaker that's actually been on that red dot just 2 months ago. He is Daniel Blanchard and he joins me right now from Connecticut. Dan, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm glad to be here, Pat. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you and your audience.
Yeah, so, first of all, congratulations, because I know that it can be very arduous journey to get to the red dot. I'm curious, why did you want to do a TEDx talk?
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, as someone who's a professional speaker, doing a TEDx or TED Talk is like the holy grail. That like those gatekeepers, those are real gatekeepers. So if you could get in there, it means that you're doing something right. And I think we all want to know that we're doing something right, right?
Absolutely. And I'm sure the reason why you wanted to go to the red dot was because you had a very important message to share. So, in a nutshell, and I saw your speech, it was amazing and incredibly motivational. But what was your message?
Very simple. The theme of the conference was press play. And just real quick, I've looked around over the years at other conferences, and none of them really jumped out at me like this one. When I saw the theme, I was like, yes, that's the one. That's me. The press play, just do it. Let's go. Right. I'm like, that's me. Let's do it. So when I saw that, it just clicked and I knew I was in the right place.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so TEDx talks are themed. So you have to actually find a theme that might fit in with your message?
I believe that most of them, maybe not all of them, but I believe most of them are themes. So as you're searching through TEDx Talks or TED Talks, you might want to start at TEDx because that's a little teeny bit easier than the TED Talks, to get in. But you got to look and see, do they have a theme? And do I have a speech that is a good fit for this theme? If not, or if it just seems like, that's not me, I'm sure I could do it, but that's not me, then move on. Move on and find one that fits you.
I love that advice. Tell me, what was the best part of doing the TEDx?
I think one of the best parts of doing the TEDx was walking out on that stage and just looking at that huge theater. And I was like, wow, I really did do something right. And it was so cool. And all the pats on the back after the after all party was just so cool.
Oh, I love it.
It's out there.
Congratulations. That's such a feat. And now I'm like kicking myself because press play would have been perfect for my message, but that's okay. I'm still crafting it. Now, I'm very curious to know, how long did it take you to prepare for your TEDx?
Well, I would say that it probably took me about a week to write the speech because I like to write it and go back and look at it the next day and edit it and go back and look at it the next day and edit it, and just let it kind of like simmer in my brain. So probably like a week to write it. However, I gave probably like 10 practice runs among friends, colleagues, even my students. I'm a teacher. The day before I left, I did the whole school. It's a small school, but the whole school came in and watched me give a practice talk. So you're looking at, you should definitely practice it 3, 5, 10 times before you go on.
Well, I applaud you for doing that so quickly, because writing something in a week, I mean, that's incredible, because for some people it can take almost a year. And, you get into these tactical, I mean, of course, you have to have an idea worth sharing or spreading. But I think a lot of people get hung up on, oh, my idea isn't good enough, or, oh, that's not going to be as impactful or so impactful. What forced you to just pull the trigger and say, I'm doing it?
I don't know. I think it was just something in me. I got to admit, people always say, how did you get this TEDx talk? Like I had some magic formula, but I do have a couple tips. But from the people that have been asking me, I'm like, hey, it just fell in my lap. They called me and said, hey, you want to do a TEDx talk? So when they called me, I'm like, wait, who's this? I'm like,
Really?
yes, I want to do it. And at that point, that's the trigger. There's no backing down at that point. It's like, get busy. She's like, all right, whatever it was, 3, 4 months later, 5 months later, whatever it was, boom. So that phone call, I think, was the trigger for me.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because I always thought that you had to solicit all these different TEDx events.
Me too. And those application processes, some are arduous and they're very, very difficult to get picked. So the fact that I got a phone call just blows my mind. And everybody I speak to says the same thing, like, oh, Dan, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Well,
But
I think it's because your positivity is contagious and you can really feel it. And I would encourage everyone to actually watch your speech because it was incredibly motivational. I wanted to ask you, is there anything that you wish that you did differently in your speech?
yes, I am so happy that I practice it numerous times. A bunch of times I practice it, you know. But what I wish I had done different was I wish I had videotaped myself more, and actually watched videotape. Because the video watching yourself is painful. I don't like to do it. Most people don't like to do it, but I wish I had just done that and just watched myself more. And I would have had a better speech. I had a great speech, but it would have been even a better speech if I had done that.
Yeah, well, you know what, there can be a bit of over practicing. You can get into the danger zone with that too, but I really think it came off quite organically. And now, full disclosure, Dan and I are both members of the National Speakers Association Connecticut chapter. And the whole reason why we're discussing the TEDx stage is because in September, we're going to be having our first Empower event at the Elms Club, and we're going to be having 5 TEDx speakers doing a roundtable and telling us everything they learned, the good, the bad, the ugly, tips. And Dan is going to be one of those 5 speakers. So that's why we are actually here today and talking about the TEDx stage. And I know that it's on my bucket list, and I'm working on my TEDx right now. So thanks for the encouragement.
You're welcome, Pat.
All right, Dan, we'll see you in September. And anyone that wants to find your TEDx, where can they find that?
I just go on YouTube and type in Dan Blanchard TEDx Talk, and it will come right up.
All right, and push play. You definitely push play. And Dan, we'll see you in September.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you. And of course, everyone is welcome to go to our Empower event. Just go to nsact.org to learn more and to get tickets. All right, I'm Pat Laurie. I'll see you next time.